I didn't wake up that day feeling powerful. There was no movie music, no sudden life-altering clarity. Honestly, I woke up tired, like a deep tired, the kind that sleep doesn't even fix. I remember just staring at my ceiling and thinking, is this really it? Same old routine, same tired excuses, same promises I kept breaking to myself day after day. And the really scary part wasn't that my life was bad. It was that it was comfortable enough to stay stuck. That's the trap that nobody ever warns you about. Hitting rock bottom is obvious. But quiet, creeping dissatisfaction? That'll steal years from you before you even notice they're gone. For a long time, I'd been telling myself the same old lies. I'll start next month. I just need to find more motivation. When things finally calm down, then I'll focus on myself. But deep down, I knew the truth. I wasn't waiting for the right time. I was waiting for permission. And it hit me that morning, clear as day. Nobody was coming to save me. Not a mentor, not some lucky break, not a perfect opportunity that would magically fall into my lap. If my life was going to change, it was completely on me. That realization didn't feel empowering at first. It felt terrifying. Because when you finally accept responsibility, you lose the right to blame anyone else. And for so long, I had been blaming everything. My past, my family, my situation, the system, even people who didn't know I existed. But lying there, staring at that boring white ceiling, I realized something really uncomfortable. Sure, some of those things were unfair, but none of them were actually stopping me today. And that's when something shifted. Not a huge, dramatic earthquake. It was more like a quiet decision. I sat up. I put my feet on the floor. And I said out loud, to no one but myself, enough. Not in a hyped-up motivational way, in a completely exhausted way. Enough waiting, enough complaining, enough betraying myself. That was the day I took control of my life. And here is the part that most people skip when they tell these kinds of stories. Nothing changed immediately. I didn't suddenly become this disciplined, unstoppable machine. I didn't feel confident. I didn't magically know what I was doing. What changed was so much smaller. I just stopped negotiating with the voice in my head that always kept me small. You know that voice. The one that says, just skip it today. One more scroll through social media. You can always do it tomorrow. That day, I didn't silence it. I just didn't obey it. That was new. I made my bed. Not because a tidy bed was going to change the world, but because I said I would. I drank a full glass of water. I went for a short walk around the block. I did one uncomfortable thing I'd been avoiding for weeks. And the whole time, my mind was screaming, this won't change anything, this is pointless. But here is the secret no one tells you. Control doesn't feel powerful at first. It feels boring, it feels awkward. And honestly, it feels pretty lonely. Because when you stop blaming, you stop getting sympathy from people. And when you stop numbing yourself with distractions, you start to feel everything. I felt regret. I felt embarrassed about how much time I had wasted. I felt angry at myself. But instead of running from those feelings like I always did, I just stayed with them. That was new too. Over the next few weeks, nothing on the outside changed much. I had the same job. I was in the same environment. I was around the same people. But inside, something was different. I stopped waiting to feel ready. I decided to move first, even when I didn't feel like it, especially when I didn't feel like it. And slowly, quietly, my confidence started coming back. Not loud, look at me confidence. Not social media confidence. Real confidence. The kind that comes from keeping promises to yourself. I started trusting myself again, and that changes everything. Because when you trust yourself, you stop settling for less. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You stop chasing validation from people who couldn't care less. You stop shrinking yourself down just to make other people feel comfortable. I remember one moment so clearly. Someone spoke to me in a way I would have just accepted before. Dismissive, disrespectful, and for the first time I didn't explode in anger, and I didn't stay silent and swallow it. I just calmly said, "Don't talk to me like that." My hands were shaking. My voice probably wasn't perfect, but I meant it. That's control. It's not dominance, it's not aggression, it's self-respect. From there, things started stacking up. Small wins, small habits, small boundaries. And here's something really important. Taking control didn't make my life easier, it made it honest. Some days were actually harder than before, because now I couldn't hide from myself anymore. But even on those hard days, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Pride, not fake pride, quiet pride. The kind you feel when you know you didn't run away. And eventually, opportunities started showing up. Not because the world changed, but because I did. I started noticing things I used to completely ignore. I spoke up in situations where I used to stay quiet. I took risks that I used to overthink myself out of. And yeah, I failed sometimes. A lot, actually. But failure stopped feeling like proof that I wasn't good enough. It just became feedback. That's when I finally realized control isn't about controlling your life. It's about controlling your response, your habits, your standards, your effort. You don't control the past. You don't control other people. You don't control luck. But you control what you do next. And that is more than enough. If you're listening to this right now and you're thinking, yeah, but my situation is different, I get it. I really do. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you've tried before and it didn't work. But let me tell you something gently, honestly, as a friend. You don't need a full plan. You don't need a sudden burst of motivation. You don't need anyone's permission. You need one decision. One single moment where you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what am I going to do about it? That's where control begins. Not tomorrow, not next year, today. With one small action you can actually keep. Because the day you take control of your life won't feel legendary. It'll feel ordinary, quiet, uncomfortable, real. But one day, you'll look back and realize that ordinary day was the moment everything changed. And if no one's told you this yet, I believe you were capable of so much more than the life you were tolerating right now. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop abandoning yourself. Take control, not perfectly, not loudly, just honestly. Thanks for watching.